is the 24th of September 2025. Myself and my colleagues were just coming out from BSS facility somewhere along the Lube Express Highway, where we went to visit our client Nnamdi Kanu to find out the status of his health, only to discover that yesterday, the 23rd of September 2025, the Nigerian Medical Council brought in seasoned medical practitioners from various zones of the institute to conduct and review the examination done by Professor Araj on our client Nnamdi Kanu. You know, it became necessary because of the controversy raised by one officer of the DSS called Dr. Nasir Mohammed, who wanted to debunk all the tests and all the findings of Professor Araj. Araj had found that Nnamdi Kanu has issues with his kidney, with his pancreas, with his prostate, with his heart, the depletion of potassium in his bloodstream. And he deposed to those facts in an affidavit before a court of law. Unfortunately, one Mr. or Dr. Nasir Mohammed, who was not, or who has never on his own inspected or investigated Nnamdi Kanu, decided to depose to an affidavit contradicting the whole findings. Thank God the Attorney General of the Federation, Fagbemi SAN, wanting to do justice, we believe, now requested the Medical Council to give him an independent body to review or to investigate Nnamdi Kanu's status. As we are here today, the 25th, we want to tell you that, the 24th of September 2025, we want to inform the world that this team of doctors confirmed the findings of Professor Araj and also discovered more. As a matter of fact, they found out that Nnamdi has an issue with the nursery that requires urgent medical surgery. Now, this he incurred as a result of torture in Kenya, in the hands of the Kenyan security operatives and their Nigerian collaborators when they renditioned him from Kenya to Abuja, Nigeria. So the situation of Nnamdi Kanu's health, as we are saying today, is deteriorating by the day. We are urging Nigerians and lovers of freedom to take into consideration that it is only a man that is alive that can ever stand trial. And we do not know what is the specific interest of Nasir Mohammed that he is giving counter affidavits, counter information to the Nigerian society. What does he have to gain from the ill health of Nnamdi Kanu? Please, we want our country to understand that Nnamdi Kanu, who has not committed any crime known to law, is suffering injustice and punishment for something that does not exist. Nnamdi Kanu only believes in the freedom of his people.
They know that Nnamdi Kanu's trial cannot go anywhere. And they know that if it is concluded, it's a problem. If it is not concluded, it is a problem. So they make it an open-ended trial so that they will look as if something is happening. But they are not interested in his trial. They are interested in holding him perpetually until people realize that that's what they are doing. And I realized that a long time ago. The problem is that everybody has become complacent about Nnamdi Kanu's freedom. They have allowed the so-called Southeastern leaders who are deceiving them to say, oh, we are negotiating, we will get this thing resolved, to allow them to calm down the restless people who should get him out. You are not going to get Nnamdi Kanu out of detention by negotiation. It's not possible. Nigeria is holding Nnamdi Kanu to ransom for his unity. The payment they are demanding for is absolute unity and loyalty, regardless of what they are doing to Igbos. Yes, or they are doing to other Nigerians. Unless that ransom is paid, and that ransom is Nnamdi, or Nnamdi is rescued from the kidnappers. I think I want to say this, because Nnamdi Kanu is my friend, and I've been in this court several times on his behalf. In fact, when I would come to this court in the past, they would attack me physically. I was attacked physically thrice. Just the reason I don't come to court anymore is that a federal high court judge actually gave an order that I cannot attend this trial, this current trial, yes. He mentioned my name specifically, so I don't want to waste my time coming to court, but it will be more than... I think the problem is that everybody has become complacent about Nnamdi Kanu's freedom. They have allowed the so-called Southeastern leaders who are deceiving them to say, oh, we are negotiating, we will get this thing resolved, to allow them to calm down the restless people who should get him out. You are not getting, this is what I should tell you, you are not going to get Nnamdi Kanu out of detention by negotiation. It's not possible. Nigeria is holding Nnamdi Kanu to ransom for his unity. The payment they are demanding for is absolute unity and loyalty, regardless of what they are doing to Igbos, yes, or they are doing to other Nigerians. Unless that ransom is paid, and that ransom is Nnamdi, or Nnamdi is rescued from the kidnappers. Look, all these razzmatazz we are seeing in Nigeria in the courts, Nnamdi Kanu's trial has nothing to do with judges. If the Supreme Court justices decide that Nnamdi Kanu should be freed, he will not be freed.
Yes.
The DSS will not leave him. Because that has happened several times. It's not matter for what they come to do in the courtroom is scripted drama. So that they'll give an impression that, they know that Nnamdi Kanu's trial cannot go anywhere. And they know that if it is concluded, it's a problem. If it is not concluded, it is a problem. So they make it an open-ended trial so that they will look as if something is happening. But they are not interested in his trial. They are interested in holding him perpetually until people realize that that's what they are doing. And I realized that a long time ago. In fact, when I met Nnamdi Kanu, I used to say, I met him in New York when I was on my way to Nigeria in 2019. At the time I got arrested for revolution now. And he was telling me, I've told this story several times, he said, Shore, you are mad. How are you going to Nigeria at this time? They just tried to kill me in my father's house. And they killed 20-something people. I barely escaped. I said to him, and it came to pass, if they need you and they want you, wherever you are hiding, they'll come and get you. And that's what they did to him by going to Kenya. They abducted him. Till today, nobody can tell you how Nnamdi Kanu got to Nigeria officially. It was an international kidnap action. And you cannot cure that flaw in his trial. You can't go and kidnap somebody and bring him to court and bring him to trial. But they know what they are doing. So I hope that those who are his supporters and Nigerians who believe in justice will understand that is what he's about. He is a prisoner, not, you can say prisoner of conscience, of course he is, but he's a prisoner to the Nigerian project. The desire to keep Nigeria one, united, undividable. That is his crime. And those kind of crimes are not for trial. You can't get a court of law to convict him for that because it's not a crime.
Of course.
And that's what we tell people all the time. If you see all these razzmatazz going on, the judge from day one already know that I didn't commit a crime. In this case that we came to today, Justice Lima knew that there was no crime committed by calling the IGP illegal because it's illegal. Yes. The issue to be resolved is very simple. You cannot lead the police if you are not in the police force. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, I'm qualified to be IG then. Throw it open. Let anybody apply for it. Then you can make MC Oluomo the IGP of police. We won't complain. You understand? It is just like saying, look, judges are entitled to spend how many years now? 70 years as judges. We don't have a problem with that because that has been done. But if you go and bring a retired judge to come out, I won't. If I'm brought before him, I won't answer to him because I say, sir, you are no longer a judge. You have retired from the civil service. So that is the issue they cannot cure. So the judge who accepted that knew that there was no case against me. But they are interested in one thing and one thing only, my international passport. I have achieved that for them. After that, come today, come tomorrow. While they figure out other things to do to Shore. So that's what it's all about. Yes. the EFCC chairman knows that it is time to replace the eagle in EFCC with a dove.
Or a chicken.
No, a dove is harmless. Yes. Chicken can be aggressive sometimes. Yes. No, if you go to a chicken and try to mess with the chicken, they will fight. But a dove doesn't fight. They should just replace the logo of EFCC with a dove. Let everybody move on. That's the simple thing. The EFCC no longer handle high-profile cases. They can't. The high-profile people have already captured the EFCC. So the EFCC is incapable of handling any this same chairman of EFCC told us that if Bello was not arrested, he will resign. Bello was never arrested. Bello decided after he has gone around and played and gone on vacation, came back to come and play. And he's back on the streets. Everybody is kneeling down for Bello, who is undergoing trial for. Bello is back on doing his third term in Kogi State. So what are we talking about? So, but EFCC chairman must give speech. The media must report it. That's what you guys are supposed to do. But my advice once again is that the eagle must be replaced with a dove, and we all move on.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Quickly, we have so many unresolved cases in Nigeria as we speak today.
Yes.
You have raised a lot of issues as to the problems.
Yeah.
What do you think is the way out of this problem? Because we have several issues. We have several that's looking, for example, that lasted over 10 years.
And joining us today from the nation's capital, Abuja, to discuss this is Mr. Pelumi Olajengbesi. He's a human rights lawyer. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What do you think about this development?
Well, the development we're seeing recently, in every democracy, the principle of rule of law is of utmost importance, and every government must ensure that the whole of government business must be in confines with the rule of law. And so what we have seen recently, particularly as it affects the crisis between IPOB and the Nigerian army, is a flagrant abuse of our law. It ultraviolates the provision of our constitution and other penal law that guides the operation of the Nigerian government and of course the Nigerian army. The Nigerian army invaded IPOB, labeled IPOB a terrorist group. The law has made provision on how to go about this. To start with, number one, the Nigerian army does not have the right to carry out the assignment they did, because it is solely an exclusive assignment of the Nigerian police force. And so the Nigerian army cannot take over the assignment, the responsibility of the Nigerian police force in an attempt to make the government or in an attempt to glorify a particular person. So I believe strongly that what the Nigerian army has done is against our law, and it's very, very dangerous for our democracy, because it's a mockery of the system of government we practice in the general public and of course in the global world. We're in a situation whereby we are seen to abuse a law. Or when you look at the grounds or the reasons why the Nigerian army labeled this organization a terrorist group, you will understand that all of these reasons are not within the confines of the law. The law made it very, very clear that for an organization to be proscribed or to be labeled as a terrorist organization, there are procedures that must be followed. Number one, the Inspector General of Police or the AG, that's the Attorney General of Police, or the NSA, the National Security Advisor, is supposed to prepare an application to the courts, and the judge in chamber can grant that application. However, such an application must receive the endorsement of the president, and that's the provision of the law. As the judge has the responsibility to check the basis and the grounds of this application. We must be able to differentiate between civil disobedience and of course civil disobedience and terrorism. There are laws on ground to checkmate people who have done things that are contrary to our laws. We have the law that has to do with treason. We have the law that has to do with murder. We have the law that has to do with civil disobedience and all of that. So I believe strongly that if an individual or a group of individuals has done something contrary to our laws, such people must be treated within the confines of the law. However, proscribing the organization or declaring the organization is a deliberate celebration of ignorance, which is very, very terrible. So I think it is important that the Nigerian government should review our action. The Nigerian army quickly rushed to the public to declare this organization a terrorist group without consulting the requirement, the position of the law, to understand what exactly should be done. Now, in my own view, I believe that this is a pressure group who they have a responsibility to make demands. Looking at some of the statements and some of the action of IPOB, talking about hoisting their flag in public.
But what about where, Mr. Olajengbesi, what I need to come in here. What about where safety is concerned? This is not the first Python dams the Nigerian army had. This is the second, and the rationale is to flush out criminals from the southeast.
Yeah, the business of the Nigerian army is not to flush out criminals in the society. The Nigerian police force have an exclusive duty, looking at our constitution section 215 sub 3 specifically, mandated the Nigerian police force with the instruction of the Nigerian president to ensure that public safety of property is guaranteed, is secured in our society. So when you talk about public safety, it is an exclusive assignment that has been vested in the Nigerian police force. The Nigerian army can't take over the Nigerian police force. They were not trained to work within the human or the community system. They are trained to fight war. So it is only in a situation where there is insurrection, that is when the Nigerian army can step in with the direction of the president. However, when you are talking about public safety, the Nigerian police force is an organization where you look at the Nigerian police act, they have the sole responsibility to ensure that there is public safety is guaranteed. And all of this must be done within the confines of our law.
But what about the southeast governors? They did what they did in the interest of the people.
In the southeast governors?
Yes.
Well, what the southeast governor did also is political anyway, but it's not in confines with the law. The southeast governor declared in public that IPOB activities has been proscribed. In the first place, IPOB was not registered under the southeast governor. The southeast governor is not a constitutional organization. It's not the constitution of Nigeria. The southeast governor have no business. Our law says that every group of persons have a right to organize themselves, have a right to freedom of association, and they have a right of expression. However, in the course of carrying out all of this right, if there is any way they've actually breached the laws of the land, the Nigerian police force have a duty to arrest such person, investigate such an act, and also prosecute such person. When you look at a situation whereby the Nnamdi Kanu as a person is going through a procedural process, I think it is important that we allow this process to continue than jumping the guns and doing some of the things we are doing currently. So the southeast governor also did that from their own thinking, but it was quite wrong. It's against our law, it's against our constitution, and it has no place in the history of Nigerian politics.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We have been speaking with human rights lawyer Mr. Pelumi Olajengbesi.